In a 6-3 ruling, the Supreme Court of the United States has just declared that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act that Trump has been using to enforce tariffs on every country in the world, including U.S. allies, is illegal. This is going to be a big blow to the Trump administration due to the fact that it will be, well, economically painful, as with the new ruling deeming it illegal, it may be resulting in a large sum of refunds being returned to tariffed countries and companies in the United States and outside it. From what I was able to gather, the revenue that the tariffs had gathered for the United States was roughly $175 billion, and it is looking like those may have to be refunded and will not be going to the economy as Trump hoped, due to the fact that they were illegally acquired. However, the Supreme Court mentioned that it will be a super messy process and possibly slow process to dish out refunds from these illegal tariffs. But Costco, it seems, was one of the first big box brand warehouse companies that went to the court to ask for refunds from all the revenues it had to lose due to the tariffs. Now, the Trump administration is already acting on this, saying how even if they do act on it, they'll find a plan B to try to keep these tariffs enforced as long as possible by using other legal means, if any. They have a few options, apparently, from what I've seen, but from what I can understand, none of them are really as flexible or as maneuverable as the Ieepa for Trump has been. It's also key to note that the Ieepa, had it been deemed legal, it would have brought in trillions of dollars into the U.S. economy, infusing it with economic funds and revenues that would be flooded into other aspects of the economy and other parts of the U.S. government. And so that's not going to happen now, due to the fact that it wouldn't have happened for a long time, because it was going to take a lot of maneuvering and adjusting of the economy to make room for these trillions of revenues and streams of funding that the economy would have received from the tariffs if they were legal. Unfortunately for Trump, they are not, so he is going to either have to find a different way to try to enforce tariffs on every country in the world, or he will not be able to use it as political leverage over countries when he wants to negotiate for something. Well, some people see this as a big win, some people see it as a small win. I view it as a major win, because you can't just keep forcing countries to pay debt or pay tariffs to the U.S. because, of your Make America Great Again slogan. Trump's excuses over the years have been great in many, but he's used the excuse of countries laughing at the U.S. and abusing the U.S. and taking advantage of the U.S. and using their own tariffs against the U.S. to take advantage of the U.S. has been on the rise for many months and quite some time, since honestly he's been in office the first time. But now that he's, it's just, it gets tiring hearing the excuses of a leader who's supposed to be, a leader, but instead he's trying to use like tariffs and threats as, a means to negotiate for peace or for making America great again, which is honestly, no one's seen any benefit or results from that yet, but that's a different topic. But as I was saying, the United States is now, gonna have to rethink the entire tariffs thing. Trump is already finding ways, or going to try to find ways to move around it. But the biggest thing is going to be the refunds, because the $175 billion that the tariffs brought in are now going to have to be redistributed in refunds to other companies inside and outside the U.S. And we know Trump; he doesn't like giving away money. He loves money. Money is probably what motivates him every day to be in office. But having to give away $175 billion in refunds, my bad, to other countries is probably going to be it'll be like taking a wooden steak knife and stabbing it through the heart of a vampire. It's going to crush Trump. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, this is what the Supreme Court ruled today. I read about it and I'm like, wonder how this is going to impact things going forward. Because now that the tariffs are illegal, most likely going to have to be lifted and refunded. Is this going to cause inflation to get worse? Is it going to cause a skyrocket of prices? What's it going to do for the economy now that it's going to be taken out of it? It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see. And it's also, Trump's, according to what I found, the only president, who has used the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to try to take and use tariffs to take funds and money from other countries and trying to use it as leverage for negotiating power. It's very interesting. It makes you wonder why, especially since the fact that only Congress has the authority from the United States Constitution to levy taxes and hand out taxes, which includes tariffs, because tariffs are a tax on imported goods. The president is not constitutionally authorized to give out tariffs such as the way he did. Only Congress is. So it makes you think. Like it's just interesting how many times Trump goes over the heads of Congress and hopes to do his own thing. It makes you wonder how many other illegal things he's done in office, and if those are going to be investigated and struck down too, or not. But for now, I consider this a major victory, as it has proven the justice system is still legal and still works, despite a lot of flaws in other systems. But it shows that Trump is not above the law, that Trump has to obey the Constitution, the oath of office, and that he cannot just keep using money and taxes and tariffs as a tool to get what he wants. He's not a king. He acts like a king, but he's not King George III. Though sometimes you may wonder if he maybe is. But the point is, Trump is held to the same level of standards. It's a democracy, not a dictatorship. For some fear we may be heading that way, but that's a topic for a different time. I just wanted to share what I found out today with you guys. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you all again next time.